It's our next project. A little Craftsman 2, I don't know, 3-in-1 convertible, whatever you want to call these things. I call them buggies, I don't know. A 13.5 horsepower Tecumseh. I got this for $50 the other day, picked it up after work, and I mean, I thought it looked pretty clean. You know, let me show the other side. I was like, this thing's pretty nice looking. Story is the guy ran it, was mowing, parked it, and he shut it off, and then he couldn't start it back up again. So get nothing with the key. I mean, it's probably got a horribly old battery, but my guess is a blown fuse, you know, and I even said that when I went to go pick it up, and he was like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. I was like, well, you know, he's like, where's the fuse? I was like, I don't know, they're hidden. They're in here somewhere. So I'm gonna look for a fuse. Oh, there it is. You see it right there. Should we pull it out right now? Do it all in one shot? Oh no, the fuse looks complete. We'll test it, but might be a brake, you know, safety, seat safety. Let's leave that out, we'll test it. You know, a couple different safeties, blade, seat, and brake. Yeah, that might do it too. Well, the fuse checks out, so it's not a blown fuse. So immediately, it's more interesting. It'd be a real simple video if that was it, huh? Definitely nothing at the key. Try to cross the solenoid here if we can. It's pretty jammed in there. And it's got like a safety cap on it. Let's remove that. I still can't reach it. There we go. Let's put choke on. All right. Bad solenoid, bad key switch. Still could be a safety. Engine spins. So I'll show you underneath where there is a safety switch. You can see this red switch that I'm pressing. And I tested it with my multimeter. I popped off the wire connector and the switch does work. If I press this, it has continuity. Without it pressed, there is no continuity. And you know, it's operated by the brake. So if you press on the brake, you can see it. Closes that. So I believe the brake safety is working correctly. I can't find a blade safety. Very simple mechanism here, and there doesn't seem to be any switches for that. So there's a brake safety but not a blade safety. There's a seat safety like we said, so I just disconnected that, hooked up the battery pack, pressed on the brake pedal, and still nothing. I don't know, I'm sort of leading towards a bad key switch. It's very possible. I got the battery charger on it. It is sort of taking voltage, so I think what we'll do here is pop off this cover, get access to the key switch over here. Looks like someone's already been in here because this is all loose and there's no screw on the other side. Oh, we got some mouse nest stuff. Let me show you what we're working with. Yeah. Alright, so any number of things could be happening in there. Looks like insulation, pink insulation. Looks like I have to undo those 2 screws too, just let the throttle bracket go back into the housing there. At least it's good and dry. But yeah, we have some chewed up wires over here. Yeah, but this wire right there, that green, that's actually copper, just oxidized or whatever. But that one's chewed up pretty good. Kind of looks like back in there might be another safety, which, you know, would make sense. This is the blade engagement, so maybe the safety is right. Yeah, actually, I think I see it. Probably hits it. Can you see it? Very dark in there. There might be a safety in there. So, you know, this maybe was grounding out on metal, or maybe there's more chewed wires that have to do with that safety. So yeah, someone's been in here, because all this, yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, here we go. That came right undone. There's a safety. Okay, now we're into it. Pretty good accessibility, I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of... Okay, okay. Alright, now we're seeing it. Alright, I'm gonna lose my I gotta get my hardware out of here before this gets too messy. But at least we found the mother load. Wish I could take this cover off, but it's all sort of connected. You know what, I bet I can get this steering wheel off pretty easily, and then all this can pop right on up. Might be worth doing that, actually. But yep, they were pretty friendly on some of these wires, but that safety switch does look pretty compromised. It's very rusted out. So the mice probably had their bathroom right on top of it. Well, I got the Craftsman 2 in the shed right now. I finally have some room in here. Okay, I'm thinking of taking off all these side panels. It's really just a bunch of Phillips head screws here. There's 2 big slotted flat head screws on either side, and then I think the rear and the 2 side panels will pop right on off. As much as I'm thinking it's a safety switch or something, I really don't know if it's the solenoid that just went bad. I know I need to slow down and do some more like voltage meter ohms testing, but continuity but we're just gonna try some things. So let's get some things apart here, which is really going to help later when we want to do an oil change. We can even, you know, flush out that gas tank and get a battery in there. And there's just, you know, all these side panels are in the way. So enough talk. Let's just get ourselves some working room here. Yeah, you can see how important getting those side panels off. I mean, if we want to get to this carburetor, here it is, plus lots of stuff and debris is in here, and it does give us a lot better access on this other side. Could get the battery out. We got the solenoid right here. So yeah, this is what we're talking about. Starter wires. Could probably get this gas tank off pretty easy. And then, like I said, oil change too. Here's our drain plug, you know, all that sort of stuff. We're definitely gonna pop the deck off this. I do want to leave it on as long as I can. Chances are, you know, if we get this running, right, I do want to see if the blades engage and all that sort of stuff. So let's get this battery out of here. That thing did not hold a charge at all. It doesn't look like it would either, does it? Nope. So let's get that out of here. These panels are pretty nice though, huh? 3-in-1 convertible. Don't necessarily know what that means. Mowing, mulching, bagging, maybe? I don't know. Well, I finally got the battery out of here and I'm working on the solenoid bolts. So we've got a ground wire back there that doesn't seem too great either, so that'll be an easy thing to fix too. That's on there pretty good. Well, since this is a 3-post solenoid, that means it needs to have ground on the metal, which the metal is really dirty. And that's not really great either. So that could definitely be an issue here. You can see all this. Yeah, and then here's another ground cable. It honestly looks like it's very bendy, like that terminal's about to snap. So I'm gonna get that off too, and just got to clean all this stuff up. It's very possible there's nothing wrong with this solenoid, but it's not too hard to replace it either. Yeah, it definitely needs to be cleaned. Terminal's in good shape though. But the metal sure isn't very clean. So hard to get good lights around here. That thing just stopped working. Okay. Alright, well, I cleaned down some metal surfaces over here. Even cleaned off this solenoid. Cleaned off all these ground and battery terminals. So yeah, things are looking a lot better. Look at that ground wire, that's a lot better. You can see the copper now. So that definitely could have been an issue, as well as, you know, all that stuff. So let me show you a way to test a solenoid. Especially 3-posts are pretty easy. I got my battery jumper here on like danger mode. Put the black one on the ground tab. Put the red one on any one of the terminals. Then I need to also get some power from this red alligator clip. So I'm just going to sort of touch that with the wire anywhere on the metal, and then I'm going to touch this post. Oh, yeah, don't touch the ground. Yep, so solenoid works. I mean, at least it clicks over, which is what you would expect it to do. So We weren't hearing that before. So I do know for the most part this works, and we should test it at least. Well, it's a couple days later, and I did figure out the key switch issue. It does crank at the key now, which is great. Let me try my best to walk you through how I diagnosed this. It seems to be that there's no point in like filming electrical diagnosis, at least the way I do it. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just poking around with the multimeter, and so let me show you where I started. So I started here at the solenoid, not the battery terminals, but the single post there where there's a black wire. There, you can see it in the middle of the screen. I was testing continuity from that black wire to see where that wire went to, and I'll show you where it went, because it didn't go to the key switch or to the blade switch. It went to the brake switch, which is down here. So there's two black wires going into that harness, and you can see my blue wire that I jumpered together, but basically where that wire showed continuity to was one of the black wires there. So I jumpered those two together so that continuity could continue upstream here, downstream, whatever you want to say, to another point. And where that led me to was the blade safety. So here's the blade safety. It has a lot of black wires, but basically one of the ports here, there's 5 of them. One of the ports had continuity now because I jumpered that brake safety together, and I just continued that continuity, which was this wire right here where my thumb is. I jumpered that into one of the other ports here on the connector, and that port happened to be jumped to the other black one by the factory. That's just how that one works. So I only needed to connect 2. Once I did that, I got crank. So, essentially what am I doing here? I bypassed the brake safety, I bypassed the blade safety. I'm thinking my seat safety still works. It's just, I'm able to sit here right now and crank it even without being on the seat. But essentially that's because it thinks the parking brake is on. I think if I were not seated on it and put on the blades, maybe it would cut out. I don't know. We'll see if the seat safety might be, bypassed too by doing all this stuff, but we'll wait and see. So let me set you up on a tripod. I'll show you how the key switch works. So there we go. So we do have crank now, so that's great. I'm going to clean up this one frayed wire a bit, and then I'm going to figure out how exactly I want to make permanent all these jumpers that I've done. But essentially I'll either put in a really nice piece of connectors. I have like these sort of things. I could just put in a couple loops, or I might pull the wires out and just solder them together. So we'll see how I want to do it. Probably be simplest just to go with a couple loops like that, and then that's done. But I do I'm curious to know if this safety works at all. I don't think it does. Yeah. So that safety switch is dead, and it really seemed like the parking brake safety switch was dead too. So I don't know, go figure. It's a lot of dead stuff, but this thing's pretty old, so yeah. Well, I just added some gas. I checked the oil. We have oil. I took the air filter off. It was pretty bad and blew out a bit of a mouse nest in there. I'm going to have to do more, but just sprinkled a little gasoline down the intake of the carb and got the parking brake on. The blade is off. We're in neutral. We're going to try to crank this and see if we can't get it to fire off. Bit more of a mouse nest than I thought, but it runs. Seemed to like choke. flooded now. I put too much gasoline in. Yeah, we're gonna need a carb clean on this. It's surging, sort of wants to run all right, but as expected with something that's sitting so long, it's gonna need a carb clean. But yeah, we have a good runner, and I'd imagine this thing would drive just fine. I mean, the only reason this thing was parked was due to electrical issues, so I think we got ourselves a winner here. Put some of these plastics back together because I really wanted to have better control of the throttle and the key switch and everything, but I still have the rear panels off. Front tires are off the bead. Back tires are holding air really well. I don't even think they're dry rotted. So yeah, we're ready to give this thing a proper test run. I don't know how well the carb will hold up. We'll see if it'll run enough where I can try to drive and mow, but let's see what happens here. Well, how about that? All of a sudden the carb is running great, and I don't know if you could tell through the camera, but this thing mows super smooth and quiet. So no issues with the mowing deck. The engine seems to have, or the carb at least, has come around just fine. And a little bit of cranking, but it did start. Yeah. This thing is shaping up about as good as I would hoped it. All right, let's see if we can't figure this out. Okay, here are the tools I'm going to use to solve these front tires here. Got a ratchet strap, my air hose, and a jack. Just going to get these tires off the ground. I'll put a ratchet strap around the rubber and see if I can't get it to seal on the rim, and then we'll just hit it with some air. little dark here, but I got those tires sorted out. They're holding there. This thing should be fully functional now. I'm gonna give it another test run. Yeah, I know it probably doesn't look like much, but this thing mows great. It's nice and quiet. There's no vibration. It's got pretty good turning radius. And the thing mows. I don't know, what can I say? Not bad for almost Thanksgiving. Lawn looks halfway decent. All right, I am pretty pleased with this thing. Obviously it needs an oil change. It needs like a new air filter. Might as well do a spark plug. We need a battery for it. We have to see if the charging system is working. And you know, it needs like a really good cleanup, or maybe we're gonna consider painting it, but I don't think so. I'm kind of thinking not, because I think this thing's gonna clean up that good where it's not quite worth the effort. Plus these little buggies aren't that desirable. This is more just sort of fun. All right, but we do have the tag here, and it looks like it's gonna get away from us, so I might as well read it off now. Model number 25621, manufacturing date 97036, so March 6th 1997. Serial number for anyone who cares, 733-250-367-2Z00045. Sears Roebuck. Pretty nice. Pretty nice 1997 right here. Might as well show off the 13.5 horsepower Tecumseh too. So I know you can't read it, so I'll read it to you. But it does have a tag on it that says Sears Roebuck, but the engine model is 143971300. Doesn't say the engine family, just gives that model number, but it does give a date of manufacturer 7028D. So I'm sure that will line up with a 1997, but oh, that's what we got there. It's getting dark out there, huh?
Yeah, and cold.
And cold? It's not even that late, but all right, after work here, and gonna try to take the mowing deck off of this thing just so we can inspect it. And eventually we're gonna want to sharpen the blades, so I do want to inspect this thing fully. So let's get the mowing deck removed here and just see what kind of condition it's in. Just using my little telescoping magnet. You finding some goodies?
Yep.
There's always something to pick up, huh?
Yeah, like this thing.
Oh, nice.
And the little washer.
Yeah, a lot of washers fall on the ground.
Yeah.
I know. Thanks for picking them up.
Sure.
Oh, you keep them. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm just keeping them safe until I get a lot.
So here's the linkage right here that engages the blades, and we have a little pin right here that we'll grab. Got this connection here. Got that pin in the front. Doesn't look that bad. 4 or 5 connectors. Oh, a spring.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that deck came out fairly easily. A little hard to muscle it off of these mounts, but the best part about this thing is, I mean, I can lift this one-handed, so I just lifted it up and kicked the thing out. Appears to be in nice shape. Let's take a look underneath here. Oh, look at the size of that blade. I guess that's what you would expect, 30-inch blade. Seems good. It's not bent. A little bit worn there. Kind of the same thing there. But yeah, probably not worth replacing. This deck is in really good shape. I do think we'll do at least some primer down here just to extend the life of this thing. A little banged up there, as you would expect. The belt underneath is in perfect shape, so no reason to replace that. And it still has a brake on it. Look at that. Brake looks good. This thing must not have been used very much. Enter, exit this side, no step. Caution, rotating blades. I think that's the only sticker on the thing. So I just blew off the mowing deck here with compressed air, and I'm going to wipe this down with a little bit of degreaser too, just to see what kind of condition the paint is in, and then we'll talk a little bit about cosmetics here. Found some more stickers right away. Covered in a little bit more grime than I thought.
These ones aren't the size that you need.
Oh, really? Those are the wrong size?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna like leave them.
Okay, I'll leave them out and I'll see if I can figure it out. Okay. Maybe it doesn't work.
Wait, but there is another one.
Alright, that looks pretty nice after polishing it up here. I mean, this is probably the worst of it here. You can see like something, I don't know what went on there, if that's a weld. Almost looks like there's some epoxy on there. Not really sure. But obviously that's the worst spot. I think there was some of the mouse nest stuff was dripping down. But wow. Quiet. So yeah, we're in a really nice shape here. So it's pretty late in the year, but I think what I'm gonna do is take this outside tomorrow. It's gonna be relatively warm, like 51 degrees tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna power wash this thing. I put away my power washer for the winter, but I think I'm gonna take it out. This will be really hard to clean by hand, and I can hit it pretty quickly, and then I can just winterize my power washer again. But yeah, this thing's so dusty, and I really want to get a good look at what this paint looks like. It's the next day, and we're going to power wash this thing. Have a little bit of engine degreaser here. picked a good day to do some power washing. It's nice and sunny right now. And it's drying up pretty good. Cleaned up pretty nice. Definitely made some of these areas look better than I thought. And this thing really doesn't need to be painted. Not too bad. The mice had a field day in there, but it didn't wreck things. This thing really held up well over the years. Oh, did you see the one front tire that came off the bead again? Yeah, gotta keep our eye on this one. All right, that was on there good. It's in really good shape. Heavy duty blade. I am not replacing that. I like using improvised workspaces. This lawn chair works great. Okay, let's talk about some cosmetics here. I have some gray paint. This is called Storm Gray Metallic BGM0522, and it's possible that this might work as a match for this Craftsman. It's kind of like a gray, but it does have, I don't know, just a tint of blue to it, and even a little bit of sparkle. So kind of a hard color to match, but I'm going to start here with the battery rusted out a bit and peeled off some paint. It's a safe spot. Let's see what this does. Let's get some paint flowing first. It has some nice sparkle. It's definitely darker. Yeah, definitely a little darker, but let's see what it looks like when it dries. There's a closer look for you. Not bad though. All right, that particular paint didn't work out great. I tried another one, this Magic brand Battleship Gray. I've used this before with pretty good luck, and I think I like this better. I hit all in here with it and kind of like it. I don't think it's a perfect match to do this whole thing though, so I think, and my shadow's in the way, I think I'm gonna pull up this foot tread, mask off a bunch of this, get the basically like the body pan of the tractor done, like the frame almost, and then leave everything else. Like don't paint any of this stuff. I'm not gonna paint this, and I won't paint the side covers that go around the engine, and then that way I can also paint the deck with that Battleship Gray, and then I think this thing is gonna look amazing after that. So I'm gonna head out to Tractor Supply to get some more of that paint, and I need a battery anyhow, so let's get that sort of stuff done. Okay, we're all masked off over here, and I I got some more paint from Tractor Supply. As you saw, I just did the underside of the mowing deck with some rusty metal primer. And we have some more Battleship Gray here. I'm just going to put it on time lapse, and we'll give this bottom frame a coat. About 2 hours later, this paint dried so quick. I don't know what it is about the temperature today or something. I mean, it's cold, and sometimes that Magic brand paint takes a while to dry, but it dried real quick today. And I have to say, I am pretty happy with how that came out. It's not an exact match. It doesn't really have any sparkle to it, but it does have like the right amount of gloss. So I think the original paint just had like a little bit of flake or something in it. But even there, like you can see, like that's pretty nice. Not perfect. But if you're careful and you just kind of pick and choose, you know, what it is that you're going to paint, you got to do like a big enough section, but not, obviously a lot of times you're not trying to repaint every piece of metal. That's definitely not what I'm trying to do here. And I know a lot of people are like, you know, make comments like I should be doing things better. Like, you got to keep in mind, I'm a tractor flipper. So I'm trying to make max profit for basically as little effort as possible. Not that I don't mind working, it's just that's how you make max profit. You know, if you spend forever on it, then it's just not worth it. So there's other YouTube channels where they restore things completely. This is not one of them. Just letting you know. Yeah, that is really nice. I do like that. That paint came out about as good as I could hope. Got it back pulled into the shed. The engine cover off because, you know, we had some things that we needed to deal with here. So now that the paint's dry, I can blow this out. It's pretty gross. So yeah. Also, I think I'm gonna paint this engine cover. I'll paint this red, I'll tape off this decal and paint this black. I think that's gonna look really sharp. So might as well just take a little bit of time and do that. Okay, I'm looking into things like fuel filters, gonna do the oil change. I don't have the air filter yet, but we'll get one eventually because that's pretty gross. So yeah, let's blow this out. I got my mask over here. I'll wear the mask, guys. Got my gloves. I can put on glasses. And we'll get this thing all cleaned up and safe. Alright, for the engine cover, I have some Rust-Oleum semi-gloss. Got that all taped off. And then for this little red ring, we got Rust-Oleum Troy-Bilt Red. Just a real quick coat. That's how that turned out. I think we'll do this grass screen too. I took that off, and I have some of this Rust-Oleum metallic, brilliant metal finish. This I used on an old, what was it, 1991 or 2 Craftsman LT4000, and I did basically the whole, all the fenders, anything silver I did with this color. Came out great. You know, little details like this, again, I know it's just tractor flipping, But this doesn't take too long, and I gotta wait for other stuff to dry. Might as well just pop this off. There you go. You know, between the silver, the bright red, the semi-gloss black, that engine's gonna look brand new. We're real close to having this off. I got a little bucket under there to catch some oil. Alright. Yeah, it's going right in. Perfect. Yep, only the best oil goes into my machines, and by best, I mean the cheapest oil at the dollar store. Drive MXD. Well, here we are the next morning. It's actually Thanksgiving today. Got that grass screen on, that looks nice. That's all dried. And I got a new piece of fuel line all set up. Got our shut-off, gravity filter, and then the line that connects to the carb. Already got the tank drained. This fuel line actually feels quite good, but might as well remove it all here. Who knows if it's original? This thing was definitely worked on at some point, you know, because that was a weld on the mowing deck, so that means someone took off the mowing deck and welded it. That's not normal, you know. Most people aren't going to either do that themselves or bother to have a shop do that. So I do believe this thing was well cared for. So are these 1997 fuel lines? Doesn't feel like it. They feel pretty good, but let's swap them out for some new stuff anyway. There we go. I think I got that in a really nice spot too. Yeah, I know there's going to be a back cover here, but you should be able to reach your hand down in there. You can see the filter, you can see the shutoff. It's in a nice safe spot. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That is going to make this machine pop. That's a clean look right there. It'll look nice in photos too when you go to sell this thing. I don't know if I showed you, but I did get the battery hooked up. We do have oil in it. We really should be ready to fire this thing up, but I do want to get the deck installed and then all the covers. And we'll do a startup and we'll check the charging system as like the final things that we do here. But we're almost done. right, guys, well, it's all dirty now after doing some mowing in the very damp grass. Just to prove that everything works, I'll have to clean this thing off once again, but what a gem. This thing came out great. As you saw from our little montage there, obviously the battery charges and all that sort of stuff. It started right up. It mows perfectly. Our tire still has air. This thing cleaned up really nice. And for 1997, I think it's in amazing shape. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was really a breeze to work on. I know I had those electrical problems in the beginning, but really that wasn't all that bad, and it was all, you know, best case scenario for working on a machine like this. So yeah, we solved those safety switches, bypassed those things. Hopefully you thought that was enjoyable. Besides that, it was really just a matter of cleaning this thing up and you know, putting on a new battery and painting it a bit and making it look as nice as we can. I think this is going to be a pretty decent machine to sell in the spring, and you know, as far as a tractor flip goes, this was a really good score, and I think it cleaned up better than expected. And you know, I hope someone appreciates the machine and how well it was cared for and how good it looks and all that. And then just, you know, practically it works great. Mows just fine. I would have no problem mowing a small lawn with that thing. You know, I'm about 6 feet, and sitting on that thing I feel a little big, but you know, maybe someone a little smaller than me, they might enjoy that and really have an easy time mowing their lawns, especially since it's only 30 inches wide. You can get in and out of a gate, and you know, sometimes people have gated backyards and things like that. So I could see this being put to really good use, and hopefully it sells. I don't know exactly how much it might go for. I don't know, probably max would be 500. That'd probably be a lot. But you know, considering what I put into it, $50 to purchase it, a new battery, some paint, you know, not that bad at all. So I'll definitely make a profit on whatever we decide to sell it for. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. After doing the 12 lawnmower repair video, I know some people are probably desperately wanting some sort of tractor, and well, you got a rear engine rider, so that's pretty close, right? All right. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. This is the day after Thanksgiving here. It is cold and damp, and glad that we can get out, you know, another tractor video even this late in the year. I'll keep trying to go all winter long, and we'll just see how those videos come out with snow on the ground, trying to get tractors ready. But I like working in my shed while it's snowing, so we'll see what we can push out here in the winter months. All right, everyone, my name is Kyle. The channel's called Kyle by the Creek. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Getting close to 6,000 subscribers, so help me reach that mark soon. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.